Yo, what's going on guys? I'm J Ray, and in this video I'm going to be sharing some Rainbow Six Siege tips, specifically some tips for noobs, new players and beginners. We're going to be sharing about 7 tips in this particular video. I was thinking of rounding it up to 10 or rounding down to 5, but I think I'm just going to make videos with as many tips as I can think of on that particular day or that particular week or anything like that. So just give you guys a bunch of tips for the new players so that you can get to the place where you feel comfortable with the game, because the game is a very good game and I don't want people to be scared off from the steep learning curve or just being murdered all the time. So let's start with number 1. Tip number 1. Don't shoot muted drones, as they limit the information that your enemies have access to. Now, when you have a mute on your side and he has placed down his mute device, if you see a drone go near the mute device and becomes immobilized and unable to move, that means that on that person's screen all they're seeing is a bunch of static. If you shoot that drone, then that person can then cycle through the point of views of the drones of the other people on their team, and that is bad. That is bad. The much more prudent thing to do is to just leave that drone right where it is, because then that drone cannot see anything, that one person cannot see anything, and if that person isn't on mics or comms with the rest of his team, then that person's not seeing, they've got no information coming in whatsoever. If they are on comms, then they will be getting some information, but it's never as good as looking at the information yourself. So definitely, if you see a drone get immobilized or muted by mute device, I just said mute 3 times in a row, a bit mad. Make sure you do not shoot that, because limiting information to your enemy is the name of the game. Tip number 2. Place Jaeger's ADS device on walls, not on the ground. Now, some people may have a difference of opinion to this, and that is fine. I personally believe that putting Jaeger's device on walls next to doorways and windows is the best way to get coverage of the area, which I believe is true. Yeah, it's the best way to get coverage, because if you put it on the ground you have less of a view to protect against. And personally, I believe that if you put these ADS devices either next to the wall or next to the window, through places where people generally would enter and would throw their grenades or try and fuse through, then you're much less likely to have those ADSs shot, because a lot of times when I am about to breach a room, I will go in there. No, I will I will open up a little bit of a peeky hole, a little bit of a hole, so that I can peek through and see what is in that room. And generally, if the ADSs are placed on the floor, you can generally shoot them pretty easily. Now, obviously, you have to look at the sight lines in the room and try and not put the ADSs at walls that have a sight line from another window or stuff like that, or just pick one window to protect, and if someone shoots through the other window, they might get that, they might not. But I generally believe put it up on walls instead of on the ground, because on the ground it's got less coverage and it's easier to shoot, in my opinion. But you may have a difference of opinion, but that is tip number 2. Tip number 3, do not shoot out mirrors glass if you're on the defending team at all. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's never a good idea. Now, I think the basic premise of mirrors gadget is that you put it up and then you can see where people are, they can't see where you are, and then if you shoot it out, then you're able to shoot those people. But what a lot of people do is they'll try and bait you to actually shoot that mirror out, so that they have a kill hole into your objective or into wherever you're defending from, and that benefits you in no way whatsoever. You do not need a kill hole coming out of the objective whatsoever if you're defending. Now, what the better thing to do in this situation is to leave the glass up. This gives you information, which is way better than getting 1 or 2 kills. Now, this information will allow you to know where people are if they move past that window, where they're heading if they run past the window and go in a specific direction, and all that sort of stuff. And then you can use that to defend the objective, because remember, when you're on defense, it's all about defending the objective. It's not about getting a bunch of kills, it's about stopping the enemy from getting to the objective and completing the objective. So do not shoot at mirrors glass, because all it does is open a 2-way kill hole or a 2-way street for you guys to both shoot down, and I don't think it's worth it whatsoever. I believe having the information and, you know, blocking them off and making them scared of the fact that you might shoot down, you might take down the glass at any time and start shooting at them is way better than you actually taking it down and shooting at them. Tip number 4, do not slow peek. Now, slow peeking is when you lean and you slowly look around a corner to see what's going on, or you slowly look around some cover to see what's going on. Now, if you do that and the enemy knows where you are, you're pretty much dead, because the enemy is going to see you before you see them, and you definitely don't want to do that. I would suggest fast peeking if you want to see what's around the corner. Like, just quickly look around there and get back into cover. I'd also suggest doing that at a distance to the cover that you want to utilize. If you're pretty close to it, then you're going to expose your body and maybe even your head while you're peeking. If you're quite far back, then I think you have a better chance to, you know, keep your head and not die. Also, bonus tip, don't peek, guys. If you're having a fight with guys, or you're shooting at someone and then you realize you're actually shooting at guys, and then you think they're aiming back at you and they know where you are, find someone else to shoot at. Like, go somewhere else. Do not try and have a peek battle with Glaz, because 9 times out of 10, a Glaz against someone with the same amount of skill as any other operative will win, because Glaz's scope, allowing you to quickly see when the enemy is poking his head out or where the enemy is, and the fact that you have a scope like that is very advantageous to long range peeking and long range engagement. So you definitely do not want to be engaging with Glaz or peeking Glaz. You want to catch him off guard, maybe shoot him in his back or his side or something like that, or shoot him while he's trying to shoot at someone else. That is generally the best way to take out Glaz. Tip number 5, don't sprint everywhere. Now, I see a lot of new players just running around the place, making a whole load of noise, and that is very bad. That is very bad, guys. If this is not Call of Duty, this is not Battlefield, this is not any other game where you feel it's cool to be sprinting around the place. Like in those other games, you have disadvantages for sprinting around as well, but in this game, like all game modes, you have one life. You do not want to sprint around the corner and sprint into someone's gun or into someone's bullet or anything like that. And the worst thing about sprinting around is it gives away your position. It lets everyone know where you are. You can hear when someone's coming from the right or the left or upstairs or downstairs generally. So you really want to be crouching and slowly moving towards where you want to go. You don't want to be running there, or otherwise your enemy will they'll probably know exactly where you are when you try and run into that room. So they'll be looking in that direction, which puts you at a great disadvantage. So definitely don't be running around everywhere. Take it slow, think about your actions, throw a drone in, you know, make sure you know what's happening in the next room. Don't just run into any situation, because that's how you end up giving the enemies an easy kill. Tip number 6 is use headphones. If you're not already wearing headphones to play this game, then you are at a big disadvantage to everyone who's wearing headphones. Now, as I said in the previous point, if someone's sprinting around, you can hear them if they're coming from the left or the right or up or down, but that's generally only if you're wearing headphones. If you're, you know, playing and you're listening to the TV out your TV, basically, you're listening to the game out your TV, then you're not really gonna have that surround sound unless you have a surround sound system or some sort of other audio or media center or something like that. Like, the cheapest way to achieve this experience and this heightened sense and heightened knowledge and information in the game is to just put in a set of headphones. I would recommend some over-ear headphones. And yeah, the headphones will if you're not wearing headphones already, headphones will definitely improve your game like tenfold, because you'll be able to sense where people are coming from. And I'm not talking about sense like in like the sixth sense or something like that, or spidey sense, like you'll use your ears to hear where people are coming from, and it will give you the jump on people who are just running around or who aren't wearing headphones or who are making a bunch of noise. So definitely wear headphones, because sound is key in this game. Like, you really gotta be careful in this game, because a stray bullet can kill you really easily. So you really gotta take your time. Sometimes you can rush, but the best thing to do is to take your time and get as much information you can, and audio information is very, very useful. Tip number 7 is use burst fire. Tap the trigger when you're shooting instead of holding it down. Now, what this will do is it will make you much more accurate. Definitely at long range, you definitely want to burst fire. Now, sometimes when I'm really close to someone and they're like in my face, sometimes I panic and I hold down the trigger. Sometimes I get the kill, sometimes I don't. I think I'd get more of those kills if I burst fired instead. But burst firing definitely makes you way more accurate, and it will help your shooting skill immensely. If you're holding down the trigger, then it's going to make your gun way more inaccurate. You're going to have a bunch more recoil to deal with, and it's just going to be harder to get those kills, especially if you're trying to get headshots at long range. Burst fire is the way to go. Now, I hope this video helped you out. Be sure to like and subscribe if it did. Also, be sure to join my Discord channel where you can play games with me, find other people to squad up in Rainbow Six with, and more. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching and liking and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long, so all this warmth I share with you.